Hello there everyone and welcome back. I'm your host today, Mr. Mobile, and today we've got ourselves a little tutorial here. Now, as you've seen by the title, today's tutorial is about how to make custom islands. Now, why am I making this tutorial? Well, as you can see here, I'm making a custom island here for a particular map. That is right, the new abandoned map. And I did see a lot of comments actually in streams and stuff saying, yeah, it's pretty cool Terrarian. And I thought, you know what, there's some people out there that think this is pretty class Terrarian. I'm going to go ahead and make a tutorial on how to make your own Terrarian. Now, I won't be showing all of this because you can find tutorials, for example, on these mountains. Just search up tutorials on mountains because that's how I got to make these. But I'm going to be showing you instead how to make these islands. So, I'm not going to be keeping these islands here, so I'm going to be covering them up with a custom one, and that's what we're going to be working on today. Now, the first thing you're going to want to grab, if it's going to be a wee island, it's going to go ahead to the galleries here in Terrain, and you're going to grab this brand new one, the Sand Dune Gallery. Now, once you get that out, you're going to have them all here, nice and snazzy. Look at that there. Yeah, see you later. We don't want you. We don't want you two either. We actually don't even want this piece. It is just this piece we want. Now, you're going to go in here and make sure grid snap is off. And then just go ahead and enlarge this to max. That's what I've been doing the entire time. In fact, there's another little island over there that I've been working on too. I've completely forgot about that one. But yeah, let's just go ahead and just place that down. So already you can kind of see a beach going on there. Now, the problem is that this is kind of sticking out at the bottom here. It's pretty simple to fix that. Either cover up with rocks. In fact, I'm just going to put it down a wee bit so it actually goes underneath the sand, but again, it's sticking out here, so let's just put it back a wee bit, put it a wee bit more down, and there you go. Now it's not sticking out, but the island's now sticking out. We'll leave that for whatever reason. Now again, this island over here is the exact same. It's sticking out here, and you got to make sure you put them low enough if you're just going to leave it like that, because you don't want people to swim up to your island here and they'll be swimming and swimming. They're like, oh, we can go under this here, and they actually end up going underneath the map. So just make sure they're low enough for that. Now anyway, back to the island. Now this here is pretty high up, so you can indeed go ahead and change the height if you really want to. I'm just going to change it for now. That just makes it look like a bit of a smaller kind of beach. Now you're going to also want to remove anything that is actually on the island. Okay, now we've got them both moved over there. Okay, so now we've got those two devices moved over there, and then the next thing you're going to want to do is just go ahead and remove any props that are actually on the islands. We're just going to delete these guys, and now we're going to go back to this sandy piece here. Now you're going to go ahead and grab a little copy of that and make sure that you're lining this up perfectly so it has that, see that little white line there? That just means that they are connecting, and there's not going to be any lines out there. As you can see, they connect pretty well, if I do say so myself. Now if you didn't see that white line, what they look like is this instead, and they've got these ugly lines appearing, and you don't want that, but that's okay if they're there. You can cover that up with rocks or trees or whatever, things like that. Let's go ahead and do a wee bit more here. We're just simply going to go around and make We're simply just going to go around the exact same way as this and just make the shape you want. It was the same for my big island. I made it kind of like a skull shape. By mistake, I was just doing a random shape and it kind of looked like a skull. Oh boy. Now guys, you might be wondering, why did I not use the other pieces from this gallery? And the simple reason for that is because they just stick out much more easier than the corner piece. The corner piece is really nice to work with once you get in the mood. And I do like prefer using the corner pieces, especially when they're enlarged. If you were to use the flatter piece, it kind of gets a wee bit more awkward. Now here's actually a little hint here, guys. As you can see at the top there, it doesn't show the white line. If I were to place that, it doesn't really connect. It's close, but it doesn't connect perfectly. But again, I could hide that with some rocks, so I'm actually just going to leave that, which is quite surprising. I wasn't going to, but I guess I am. Well, as you can see, that goes a lot higher, and it certainly does go a lot higher. Question is, how did I go wrong? And I simply just went downhill. Well, that's the only answer that I have for your question. Next one, please. Okay, so now we've got a basic outline of the island, and it's all handy dandy. Now you're going to want to go ahead and get some trees, some cacti, whatever you're going to put on this island, but you need a foundation. Now that's rather simple. You're going to go to the galleries again, terrain, and you're going to have all these different ones. Like the cliff galleries is basically your best option here. Now you're going to go into them and you'll find this piece right here. This is the piece you're going to use. Now the only one that's not in is the shark cliff gallery. It does not have that shape, but all the other ones should have it. See, here's a snowy one. We won't be using snow though, hopefully. But actually, I think we'll go for a nice wee desert one here. So we're going to go ahead and grab the desert one. Go ahead and enlarge it. Now, if you're going to build on it, you're going to want to place it down first and then see where your building is. Now that there's not very good, because the only place you can build here is that's like a half a wall there, so you're probably going to want to lift this up, the whole island up, or else make it go down a wee bit more so you can actually build properly. But this map ain't gonna have no building, so we don't really need to worry about that. Now it's okay if there's little bumps and stuff. That kind of gives the terrain more of a nice little touch. It's alright with some orange stone and all coming through too. Don't worry about that stuff. No one's going to be like, oh, that looks so bad. Maybe you think it. You might be the person that's built the map and you're like, oh no, my map looks trash. Trust me, I've thought of that before. And apparently people like them. It's weird. I know it's quite a weird thing to feel. But that's just the way it is. So let's go ahead and keep doing this. Now you're probably wondering, oh Mr. Mobile, what are you going to do about that piece of cliff there that's sticking over it rather well? And I'm going to get to that bit once I cover this bit in. Just give me a second, guys, and I'll skip ahead to it right now. Okay, so I've went ahead and built quite a bit of little beaches around the side of this, so it's a wee bit flatter along the areas here. As you can see, I've covered quite a bit of it on the map. Now we're going to get onto the other part where we get rid of this cliff looking edge. Now the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go ahead, grab this piece again and make sure it's lined up to the same height. Hopefully you could do that, because I'm struggling. There we go. That is a pretty good, decent height. You could lift it up, I'm sure. Yeah, there we go. But if it's not completely covering that beach part yet, go ahead and just do it again. And if you don't want, I was going to show you a different way, which I'll actually do just now before I show you the way I'm going to do this. Okay, so now you've covered that up to cover, well, the beach bit. Now go back into galleries, go into the desert part here, or whatever one you're using, and grab this corner piece right here. And yeah, it's pretty small. Well, just enlarge it. It's not that hard. And then you're going to just go ahead and place that. Now, after that, you're going to grab it again, drag it down to the right height, and just do what you were doing before. Put them at the same height, make sure there's no holes in between them, and just do that the whole way across until they become the same height as each other. And then that kind of gives you this nice little ridge along the map. You can jump up it and all, but it's nice to see a wee bit of stone on an island here. It kind of makes the island pop a wee bit more rather than just having it be a sandy dune. Now you could go ahead and grab this piece if you were running a bit low on memory, and you could just make it taller and thinner and all that stuff instead of using these, because I don't have those in my map, so it's going to be taking up a wee bit more memory. So as you can see, it is actually basically the same height from where my thing is, so I'm going to go ahead and use that. And it actually has this nicer texture because it's a flatter piece, I assume. It is definitely different looking. Look at that, it's got some better lines, I think. Once you get to the shorter bits, why did that just change it all? I don't know. There we go. Once you get to the shorter bits, just change the width of it there, or whatever way you need to change it, and that will hopefully help it that way. Alright, so we've got somewhat of a nice stony ridge going on here, and I do like the look of it, to be honest. I mean, if you're over here in this island, you see this here, the desert island over here, you're going to see this nice little yellow line going across it. It just makes it look a wee bit more on the unique side. See with this little bit, I didn't notice that there until I was on the island. Now, if you didn't want to do the ridge thing, that's simple enough. You just go ahead and grab these and you put them all across the island instead. Just, again, make sure they're 100% lined up correctly. What I'm going to do is actually copy these three that I did indeed set up there to, you know, help with this. Bam, look at that there. Much, much, much easier. And as you can see, since I've copied these three here, I've been able to go around the island rather quickly. And since I don't need to really bother about the bottom bits lining up correctly, because you're not really going to be able to see them, we can just set them down. And if there's any bits like that, you know, we can go back and fix those. That's all. Handy dandy, as we like to call it. Okay, so I've covered up those holes there, and I don't see any more hiding along the sun here. Do you see any? I don't. So that's all good. We've got that all sorted out. Last but not least, we just got to cover up with a floor. Now, just adds a wee bit more as well, texture, etc, etc, blah blah blah, with height and all that good stuff. Now these lines, make sure you do cover them up, because boy, you'd barely notice them in maps, but I notice them and it really annoys me when I do notice them. In fact, some of my bigger maps even have them, and now that I'm this bit better creative and realize them, I really want to go back and fix them, but there's so much of them. Now guys, since this is a sandy island, it's not going to be flat, right? I mean, I've never seen a sandy island that's flat. Maybe you have. I haven't. I mean, a desert's not even flat. It's close, but it ain't flat. And once you get a line like this done, you can kind of copy it and just go across, because once you cover up with trees and all that, you're not going to really notice that it's a copied piece of terrain. Now these holes here, bam, fixed. Look at that. This here though, pretty ugly looking, correct? And I know I did say put terrain on it and stuff to make it go away. You can just like select a piece and kind of just lift them up slightly and move them around. Just, you don't need to do it to all of them, just some. Lift them up, put them down a wee bit. Whatever way you want to do it is whatever way you're going to do it. And it just makes it look a lot more natural. It doesn't make it look like it's a copied mess. Let's just turn that piece there. Oh no, bad idea. There we go. There. I think we'll probably just change this piece maybe though. Be a bit flat there. And there we go. The island is now fully covered with sand. Now this bit looks fantastic, yeah? This bit, and not so much, and the reason for that is because this was actually the part that we copy and pasted over as several times. So again, just kind of try and level them out a wee bit more. Now this was all randomly done and it just looks a lot more smoother. Now what does this island look like already from way back here? It looks like a pretty decent island. Now the things that are missing is trees and generation, like naturist stuff, that kind of thing. Now this is an island, people. This is not a country like this with trees and mountains and water flowing down with magical stars inside. No, it's just a little tropical island, and all you really need on that is this one tree gallery here. So you're going to go galleries, do nature terrain, and nature is good too to have when building this. And you're going to go up here and you'll see all these. Grab the jungle nature gallery. It is brilliant. Now another one you could use is in here. You could use these 3 bushes, or you could go ahead into this one and grab the bush here. I'm going to go ahead and grab the bush. Now we're going to grab bush. We can make it a bit larger if we really want to. We could kind of randomize the sizes and just kind of make them stick out of the bottom there. And we can put those over those edges there that we don't really want the player to see too well. Now this here bit here, yeah, we can make that look all nice and pretty here, and make like a wee kind of lane of bushes here. I mean, these bushes are fairly big in size. In fact, it's going to be really hard for people to see other people in this. And yes, this is like a hide and seek of a somewhat of map I'm building. So I'm going to actually put these down a wee bit because they do stick out a wee bit too much. In fact, I'm going to grab this and just make it the normal size. I think the normal size might be a pretty good size to go with, maybe a wee bit bigger. There we go. Now just go ahead and place these. Don't make it so much that it's a really dense kind of bushy walkway. You're going to want most of the sand to still be popping through. Now that already just doesn't look too bad. You wouldn't expect that to be a copy and pasted terrain because you can barely notice the line going across it. Now the other thing you're going to want to add are mostly these stones and this tree. Now these were actually found on the island that I covered up. And now we're going to reuse the things that we found on the already made island and give them a brand new home on this glorious one. Now, again, use any of these trees, any of these like tropical looking ones. I wouldn't use that big guy, he doesn't really make too much sense. You could maybe use this little one here, this wee guy. You could put him maybe closer to the shore. Something like that. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. But don't be putting them way down here. I don't think that would make too much sense. Why there's a tree all the way down here in the sand. I mean, it looks alright. I might actually keep that. That looks pretty good. But you don't want them to be all over the place. Now, as for these bigger trees, yeah, we can put them all over the place. Yeah. Now, a thing you should probably want to know about with terrain is the way I use those stones. So let's go ahead and use them now, rather than placing random trees all over the place on the island. But already, if you go over to this island and look over here, the island's just looking a lot more refreshing. But it looks a lot flatter than what it was over there. But then, of course, once you get closer to it, you know, it's not looking too bad. You realize it's a big old hill up, and then you've got these bushes and stuff you can hide in and walk around with. Of course, you're going to add a bit more vegetation, maybe get the bushes here and make them just like a little rig, really small. We berry bushes. There we go. Look at that there. We berry bush. Isn't that really adorable? Oh, everyone say oh yeah. Now, anyway, the rock terrain thing. So guys, I kind of found this one on YouTube where it was how to make hills, but I kind of switched it around. Basically what they done was they got these rocks and covered them in grass. We're just going to use the rock because the rock actually looks pretty a-okay. Now what you're going to do is get the indestructible gallery up here. There we go. And somewhere down here, there we go, we got these two big old fancy rocks, and you could probably use these here as well. You could use any of these rocks. I'm going to use these big ones. They're pretty spicy. Now we're going to go ahead and grab them. They're already pretty big, and again, they're invincible gallery, and yeah, they seem pretty fine at the minute. They're a pretty good size. Now the problem that was with the map that I've made, I've enlarged them to this size to make the terrain, and the problem is with this size is that their hitbox ain't very good. Now at the minute it's pretty well, but then yeah, now you can see, yeah. Epic, you're probably going to want to fix this. This is kind of annoying, Epic. So if you could fix that, try and pop them on these, that would be nice. Thank you. Now again, you could use these walls for it. I was actually thinking about this. You could kind of make them stick out the bottom here, but again, problems with the hitbox. So you're going to want to most likely keep them at this nice size here. Now you're going to want to turn it slightly so you can actually walk up the rock rather than being slipped off instantly, and you could indeed maybe enlarge it a wee bit. I mean, you're not going to notice too much going on here. Just don't try and turn them around madly crazy. You don't want your players to be falling through the map. Now let's go ahead and just kind of build ourselves, I suppose, a nice wee stony cliff. Now another problem by doing these kind of cliffs is if we go all the way over here, you could kind of see it there. There's stones. If we stand here, maybe move a wee bit further. Oh, would you look at that? They disappeared. So did half of the island. So you can't really see them that far away. And we're basically just go ahead and make a wee small stony kind of cliff thing and just copy and paste it. But kind of do it in like a brick format where you're going like this. So you paste it halfway across. So I would do maybe one here, then here. And that just makes it look a bit more or less pasted across. And that's already looking quite snazzy. So I might actually keep that there because that's pretty good looking. It's pretty spicy. Yeah, we could, of course, you know, do that. You rotate it a wee bit. There we go. Looking much, much better. We could turn this around, get the other side. There we go. Again, doesn't look too bad. Of course, you'll change it to the way you want, and then the rock terrain can end up looking like this. This is all mostly copy and paste stuff. Of course, there is some of them that's randomly placed at the end. The other bit over here, which is more copy and paste, is right here. This was copy and pasted up, 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 and you can actually kind of see it here. These three are looking roughly the same, but then at the end, I went ahead and grabbed them and then turned them slightly so they don't look as copycatted. And the same then is with the moss one. The moss one just kind of gives it a more of a greeny look, but unfortunately the hitbox is still really, really awful. In fact, you can actually hide your entire body in one of these. This one here, I think. Yeah. Well, if you didn't have a back bling on or sticky out pickaxes, yeah, you could literally hide inside of this rock and go like, boo, to your friends. I mean, I don't know if that's a good thing or not. But anyway, you kind of get the good old idea of this here. Now, again, you could use probably these sticks. This is a beach, people. It's near the beach. Or this is an island, guys, near the sea. So there's going to be some little floating bits of debris coming in. Again, you could change the size of these a wee bit and just make it look like they've came in off the ocean. Make them maybe stick out a wee bit from the ground. Just paste them all along it. And it looks rather nice. Now, of course, these ones don't look right. I mean, they are the same size. They're facing the same way. Let's do that. Now it looks a wee bit better. But yeah, basically just do this over the entire island. Get some more leaves. Get some more plants. Not just trees, guys. We also want other things in here. Like if we go up here, you could get stumps, I suppose. That might look quite nice. But over here, we've got these like bushes and vines and stuff. And the vine gallery would actually look really good in this. Let's go ahead and just plop that down. We can get some of these here going in the jungly depth here. Now, it's those small details that make you notice the work that you've put in. And you could actually just put these randomly down if you're not going to be putting too much detail into these kind of things. They're not needed to be overly done. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one area up just to show you how you can make your island look rather cool. Oh boy, we're swimming up to a nice looking island here. Nice bushy looking one. Looks like we might have some coconutties in the trees there. Quite bushy. Looks like we've got some good trees. Nice hill here to get some stone tools. But we've got to get some sticks to make those stone weapons. Very nice. Well, guys, of course I didn't cover the entire island. I mean, that would be a bit overkill. But I will leave this island, fully completed, of course, in the final map. Now, this map will be, of course, hopefully pretty good. And you'll see this island. This exact island shape. Anyway, I'll probably keep that cliff and this bit that we've done here. Now, if you've got any questions on how to do anything else, I'll happily answer in the comments below. If I don't know how to do it, You might have to go and ask someone else though. But hopefully I do know how to do whatever it is you need an answer to. Now guys, before we leave, as you can see, I've kind of put a wall up here with bushes. Now, if you're not doing a fully open world thing and you're kind of doing an exploration map, get these bushes here and kind of put them down like we did here on the way the players are meant to go, and where players aren't meant to go, just kind of build these up and they'll kind of get further away and taller, maybe leave a bit of a gap like that, and that just kind of makes it look like the forest has got a wee bit more, or the island even, has got a wee bit more depth. You put some trees, I put them quite low down there, and then make them go taller here in the background to make it look like it goes a bit more further, you know, far, kind of like so. And then of course just put a barrier up so they can't go all the way through. It's pretty simple like that. But anyway guys, we're going to leave it there. I'm sorry that this is quite a short one, but I'm pretty late already for today's video, and I did want to do this tomorrow, but we're having it for today. So if you liked, and if you want to see this island when it's fully completed with the map and everything, remember to hit the notification bell once you subscribe so you can see the trailer for the map once it is completed. Anyway, I'm your host today, Mr. Mobile. Hopefully this tutorial helped you the slightest bit out, and I'll see you in the next one. This is probably the best looking part of the entire map, to be honest.